So Jonathan Schofield, we're a few days away from a game against Newcastle Thunder at Odsal on Sunday. But first of all, if we look back at last weekend, there was a trip down to Devon for the Royal Marines training camp. What was the purpose of arranging a training camp like that for the lads?
Yeah, the reason behind it were to create togetherness within the group. We set out at the start of pre-season. That's what we wanted to create within the environment, and I think we definitely got that. The boys were pushed to the limits. The Royal Marines were excellent. So I'd just like to thank them for their hospitality, what they put on for us as a club, and like I say, they pushed the boys, and all the players put plenty of effort in and really stood out.
Across the course of a year, obviously a really grueling rugby league year, what benefits will the players feel from the weekend they've just had, as we get towards the back end of a really long season and the bodies and the minds start to tire? What can they draw on from last weekend?
Yeah, it's a good point, and we definitely will look back at the army camp throughout the season, and it could be the first game, or even like I say the 8th, 9th game, or the last game of the season. As a team, we'll remember points in there, because like I said, they went to some dark places, but it's not just that. We spoke about togetherness, and even if it's a man at the side of them, if they see the teammates struggling, that's what we want them to push the teammates and saying that obviously they can do it.
Pre-season as a whole, obviously a couple of new coaches came in alongside yourself, Brendan Sheridan, Nathan Gray. How's pre-season gone so far? As a block, are you happy with how everything's fitted together?
Yeah, it's gone real well. You mentioned Brendan and Nathan there. I've got to say they've been outstanding. Plenty of experience, so they've been a big help for me, which I think is really good. But just on the boys, like I say, I keep going back to it. I mentioned about obviously the environment, and my philosophy is really big on standards and making sure everything's done right both on and off the field, and we've got that from the playing group. So like I said, every club will be doing the same. Everyone will be saying, they're doing all the right things, but obviously it comes down to the first game, which we'll know more then.
Newcastle on Sunday. How much are you looking forward to? You've had the training weeks and the cold late nights at Song. How much are you looking forward to seeing the lads transfer what they've been practicing onto the pitch on Sunday?
Yeah, we're really looking forward to it. We've got some great young kids in a system, which we'll see. We've seen that with Alfie Leake, Jamie Gill, Jacob Bateman, George Rayner as well. George and Alfie especially, they really stood out in that game against Keighley. But no, getting together, and obviously, like I said, the boys are looking forward to playing, and will implicate what we've been putting in practice into a game.
You mentioned that Keighley game with those lads that stepped up towards the end, especially, and played and impressed as well. How excited are you? How confident are you that that's the start of bigger things for those guys, that we'll see a more frequent continuation of the pathway we've seen at Bradford across the course of this year?
Yeah, definitely. And a lot of those players will feature against Newcastle on Sunday. But like I said, Alfie Leake, he's got to be a special mention. He's been absolutely outstanding. His attitude is really stepped up, and Brian and Lee Green would have even said that as well. Is how he goes about himself, as like I say, his attitude, and when he's in and around the first team environment. And obviously there's George in there as well, who played well. But I just don't want us to forget. I know there's been a lot of focus on them players, but there's other ones who stood up in pre-season. Dylan Garbutt, he's a first-year academy player. There's Archie Wright, who's really impressed. But as a collective, as a group, we have got some very good young players. We're looking forward to developing them over the next couple of years, and they'll get an opportunity against Newcastle on Sunday.
Brilliant. And just finally, that game against Newcastle, what's your message to the fans who will look at this game thinking, it's a Sunday afternoon, I could be going to Huddersfield on Saturday? What's your message? What can the fans who are potentially on the fence expect from your team on Sunday?
Expect plenty of effort. Like I said, they'll hopefully get up to what we've been doing in pre-season. I know you mentioned there, Luke, obviously there's a first team game on Saturday. Potentially we'll have some first team players in the reserve squad as well, so there will be them involved. But there's plenty of youth on show. Okay, and like I say, we know Bradford. It's well known for having some good young players, and all the way through to the 16s, from the scholarship up to the academy reserves, and we've definitely got that. So it's only a fiver in. So like I say, get yourself down and come watch some of the young talent coming through.